Hey now, this is DR.KOBA in the third of our series from the 60th anniversary Enjoying the Ride box set. We're looking at 8/12/79. We got through all three discs, and so we're going to do a little bit of a recap. This is entirely different from the other two, the 1993 and 94 shows from Boston and I believe it's Landover, Maryland. So Washington D.C. area, I guess. But the where we're at here is up high up in the mountains, Colorado, at Red Rocks, which is a vaunted place, a place of power. And if you've ever been there, the sights are amazing, the feeling is amazing, and it's also hot and dry, and the air is kind of thin. So it is a place where great shows have happened and a great amount of acoustics are there. I just have never been able to see a show there. But what we're looking at here is 1979 and a very unplayed time in the official releases from the Grateful Dead, at least, from August 1979, which is like early Brent era, which is in full effect here, and then late 79, August, October, and then those shows from like Dick's Picks 5, those are classic shows from Oakland Coliseum after Christmas in 1979. So what we have here is kind of an under the radar, not known show, and they're still getting the formulas right, but what they get right is so right that it kind of knocks off any other little instances where maybe they're not exactly on the right page. And Jerry has some moments where he feels like it's a little less of a strong performance, and he's kind of like they've all changed their mindset, and they've all changed their sound, because clearly Brent's sound is entirely different with the keyboard and the plinkiness and the electric sounds. They're all in full effect here. We get Promised Land opener, straightforward. You already have the 80s band sound. They've already turned into that just like immediately, and it goes into a great They Love Each Other, which has some moments of not being the strongest, but I loved Jerry's solo. It was great. Mama Tried, Mexicali Blues. That's a classic Bobby pairing. Awesome. It's good stuff. They've turned into that band already, and so they're just very strong. Peggy-O, love Peggy-O. It's great. It's a great version. They're kind of searching for a new sound here, and they've gotten some of the elements there, and it is really ripe. And you see that in Lazy Lightning Supplication, where Jerry might not know exactly where his fingers should land, but he knows enough to stop and really hit those accents on the first part of the beats, and he really paints a great picture, and it's high energy. Awesome Lazy Lightning, kind of like some of the stuff from this 1978, the Rhythm Devils box set. Great stuff, high energy. Brown Eyed Women, amazing, good stuff. It's still kind of rocky in some of the, their execution, but they're going for it, and they're fully engaged. I really dug the Looks Like Rain off the Passenger bit that ends the first set. Looks Like Rain has some of the drummers doing, like Mickey and Billy doing some of those thunder type sounds. And it sounds like Phil has got like a flange effect on his bass, which is different. And he uses it a bunch of times, especially later in the show. But Althea is great. It's a great little version. And then they surprise themselves by going into Passenger, and they're so ready for it that some people aren't ready for it. But they really do a high energy version of Passenger that should have been done before. It should have been a great little. A great set ender. They should have gone for it more, but it's not the greatest song in the world, but it's cool to hear them rock out. So we go into the second set. We go into the second set here. China Rider, you know, we've turned into the '80s band. Like it's just there. They're automatically there. Lost Sailor, they only do Lost Sailor, which is so weird to hear that it's just that. And then they go into Don't Ease Me In. So it's all like this weird version of the second set, and which is awesome. Don't Ease Me In was great. Um, Perfect little rock number after the dreaminess of Lost Sailor. And then we get an Estimated Eyes, which is like the heart of the show, at least in the second set, that is to say. Um, we get a very floaty, weird version of Estimated, and then we get Eyes, which also has high energy stuff happening, and then later, in the jam portion after the verse, we get this very weird new version of the Dead sound at that point in time, and we get tribal drumming, we get Phil's flanged bass, we get Bobby on his slide. You got everybody doing something. Everyone's cooking with psych energy, and it's a bright psych energy, but it's also dark and jungly and menacing, and that carries over into drums, which is still the same kind of Rhythm Devils type atmosphere, and it really goes into a interestingly little jammy, noisy kind of, it's a lead-in space that is only like 5 minutes, and it goes into a really cool rocked out version of Not Fade Away, and then we're hitting the gas to end the show. Black Peter is always good, so it's stunning. Jerry is engaged. He's doing well. He's singing well, playing well. Black Peter's a great tune. Love it. Of course, you get Round and Round for the ending. We're still have a hangover from 1978 yet, where that is being played a bunch, and the police are knocking, dun, 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 everyone's rocking the whole thing. Then we come back for an encore. U.S. Blues. We're just rocking out. It's amazing how fast they turned into the 80s band sound. And so I think this one's an under the radar great show that you might not seek out for any like individual moments, but it's all very highly played, good psych energy. That Eyes of the World I thought was really interesting and had some really neat stuff happening. I thought the Lazy Lightning Supplication was also like I thought it was also high energy and very well played. I thought the Brown Eyed Women was good. I thought Peggia was good. I was surprised by the Althea Passenger pairing. I thought that was like combustible. It was great, and you get a very they follow this template now forever, but the template is set very well and the foundations are strong. The psych energy is there. You get a very weird only standalone Lost Sailor into Don't Ease Me In, which is worth the price of admission in its weirdness. The China Rider is great too. Jerry might not know all the words, but his playing leads them through the whole suite, and so it gets thumbs up. I don't know if I would call it I don't know if I'd call it worth a standalone release, and I found that in a lot of these is that it's the places that they're at in the 60th box set that are more important than maybe the individual moments on the shows. But what you're getting is strong, good Grateful Dead music. It just might not have like a marquee jam. It's just the boys doing their thing. And when we go later or earlier, we're going to get the boys plus Donna doing their thing too. So I look forward to that, but I wanted to kind of hip everybody to 1979. Love Brent. Early Brent era is awesome. Like, he's got his noisy thing happening with some of the, like the synthesizers that he can pull out. And so I love that era. The late 1979, the fall tour into Dave's Picks Volume 5 and that road trips, all that stuff is just so killer that it's great. But once you get there, Jerry's starting to struggle a little bit. Here, he's not really struggling to play. He's maybe struggling to he remembers some things, but that's about they're just inventing stuff, and so they're just doing it on the fly. So either way, gets a I'll listen to it at going down the road. And at any point, I would pull this one back out and say this is a good one. Red Rocks, definitely. And the art too is great. If you've ever been there, that's exactly what it looks like. So yeah, cool. Well, like, share, subscribe. That's 8. What is this? This is again 8/12/79. So enjoy on the ride.